What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. I was just watching a video from another content creator. And it's a content creator that a lot of people ask me about. Not all the time, but I've been asked about him a lot. I've done videos on him. And that's Rene Enriquez, right? And I was listening to one of the videos right now while I was showering. And I can tell you that more of his videos have been popping up on my feed, right? And it's always a trip for me to hear the stories that he has to tell. There's a lot of the stories that he tells after I was incarcerated where I have first or second, maybe third hand knowledge of, right? And I've said it a bunch of times. There are things I'm just not comfortable talking about. Even this video, I don't know if it's going to go out. But I figured I'd get in front of the camera, record it, and then just see how I feel. A lot of people know, a lot more don't know. The legends were locked down, slammed down in the shoe, kept off of the main lines for decades. And during those decades, isolation didn't weaken them. It strengthened them. And during those decades, they were the brains and the camaradas were the body. Their hands, their eyes, their ears, their muscle. And so when I hear the stories, I think how whatever led to one of those men in the shoe to make a decision about a thing or a person, whatever it may be, it went from there, from the shoe, to someone else, a camarada. And so those in the shoe had their version of this is what it is. This is why. This is who. But then once it hit the camaradas, it became another version of the story. The how. And the players that are going to be involved. Sometimes some people were quietly questioning certain things, but it always got done. I'm sorry for pausing so long. Maybe I'll edit out the pauses, but this is such a touchy subject. And I think about how all the people that want to lately drag my name through the mud and put labels on me that will never fit. I think about how I went to prison because I took someone's life. I was arrested because somebody told on me. While I was in prison, while I was doing things, while I was, being the mouthpiece or the hands, the feet, whatever you want to call it, the eyes, the ears of someone else who was very important, while I was middlemaning those things, I was constantly being told on. Kites were dropped on me on a regular basis. When I got told on and arrested, I didn't like it. When I was constantly being told on the yard, I didn't like it. There was no way I was ever going to be that person to somebody else. Everybody involved in my situation knows exactly what it was, or pretty much knows exactly what it was. Nobody ever got hurt. Nothing was ever lost. No money was ever messed with. No drops were ever given up. Nothing. Not a chance. You know, if I was what my haters say, I would have never been on YouTube. Or if I was, I'd hide my face. And I'd make a whole lot of money talking about what other people did, what I did with other people, conversations we had, secrets that I know. That ain't me. So again, I hear these stories, man, and it takes me back. You know, like you can hear a song and it could take you back to maybe a certain woman, a car, a night you were cruising, whatever it is. Unfortunately for me, I can hear these horror stories about prison. Dudes getting hit. Things being plotted. And it takes me right back to where I was when it was happening or when it happened. Prison made me a man. I went into prison an angry kid, an idiot. And while I was in prison, and that's one thing I want to say, I don't want to keep saying the names, but you know, when this content creator was talking about his interactions with his equals, he talked about how even though everyone else knows them as brutal men, as killers, he knew them differently. I can say that about a lot of camaradas that I met. Some of them have become legends. And I hinted at it in a video I did today where I said, dudes are going to do what they got to do. Sometimes it's not what they want to do, but they do what they got to do. I always say, man, when I tell a story, I really hope that it gets someone to think twice. There ain't nothing waiting for you out there in the barrio, out in the hood, but death or incarceration, man. That's what's waiting for you. If you have a mom's, if you have a family, if you have a kid, look at those things and let that be your motivation. If you have a loved one behind the walls, let that be your motivation. How long have they been there? And I guarantee they're telling you not to follow in their footsteps, because everybody that I messed with in there, they would tell their kids, they would tell their nephews, man, you don't want to be in here. Straighten your ass up. Do good. Take care of your mom. Take care of grandma. Look out for the family. I was lucky enough to be around those type of men. I was lucky enough to be around the type of legends that would tell people, I've seen it in the law library in Pelican Bay, when vatos want to be tough guys, and they would tell them, hey, Holmes, did you already lose your case? You can't appeal it? There's stuff to do around here, but wouldn't you want to try to get out and go home? Don't you work that out? And if that falls apart, then get your nose in shit. Why are you in a rush? You got time? I was able to hear that 2 different times from 2 different people that were legends. So when I see people or hear people trying to act tough and encourage others to be tough. I'm like, damn, Holmes, you've been out here your whole life. You want them to go do something bad. How about you be the bad example? But you don't want to do that. Social media has too many people concerned with prison issues. Anyhow, I'll see how I feel about this video. That's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.